sorry. Oh. Okay, and we proceed with the only a minute. Okay. Recording. 3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone to the final event of this season in the place of the building platforms is the great debate. We have here the experts of Revit, ArchiCAD, Allplan, and EcoSyn, OpenBuildings. Sorry for this little thing. It's quite interesting. Sponsored by Being Week and Being Campus as the other Being One-on-One events. Here we have Decio. You know Decio because he's one of the best experts in Revit. If you see the other Being One-on-One, you see that Decio has a lot of things to contribute here. Architect, Urbanism and Technologies, Senior BIM Manager, associating Foster and Partners in UK, a speaker at Autodesk University, and one of the most recognized experts on Autodesk BIM solutions. Claudio Lima is the expert of ArchiCAD. He's one of the oldest experts in ArchiCAD in the world. He's Architect, Urbanism and Technologies, Senior BIM Manager, Architect, and Partner of Arpador in Porto. Sergi Ferrater, Architect, Urbanism and Technologies, well known, I don't know if only in Allplan, but Bentley and Synchro, especially in a lot of conception, is an incredible guy, Senior BIM Manager, Partner at ACON. And finally, and the last but not least, Silvio Kimura, Architect, Urbanism and Technologies, are now as partner and CTO of Parsec BDC in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Senior BIM Manager, Bentley Senior Consultant, and specialized in education and training in Industry 4.0. I want to remark that. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Nice
Gustavo.
to have you here today.
Hi, Gustavo.
And, you know, we are starting the event talking about your own platform. You know, the order, as you know, we change the order from block to block, from section to section. The first section is talking about your environment, you know, and then it starts, for example, Decio, Claudio, Sergi, and Silvio, and we rotate. You know, it starts, for example, Claudio the next block, and you know, it's open. When I make some question, I suggest you to answer some question. It's open for you to talk one each other to explain that. The first question is, which are the benefits of your platform you see, and which is the thing that likes most to you personally about your BIM environment?
Should I start? Okay. So regarding Revit, I mean, it's quite difficult because there's a couple of tools which I really like it, like the multi-location, you know, regarding having more than once the building on site, for example, if it's the same building with different locations. For example, the optioning tools that we have in there, the way that we work, the users work, it's super easy to work with. I would say it's super simple to work with regards all different disciplines and so on. But, you know, if I want to pick one, you know, from all of these, I would say that, you know, this interoperability capacity that Revit has, like importing and exporting to different platforms or formats, I would say that it's one of the good things that I really like from Revit, you know, because all the platform wants to talk with Revit, which I think it's a very good thing in Revit.
Claudio?
Okay, what I like. One of the one good things that I like in ArchiCAD is intuitive and power delivery. It's a very friendly and software that you can use with no problems at all. And another thing is the curve of evolution about the training and the workflow. So this is only the major aspects. I'm not talking about any special tools, but as you said, one thing is one thing important is the the interoperability, the open beam, and that is one of things that works fine, and I like because it's the future. It's the one that should be pointed out for the goal.
Sergi?
Okay, and in Allplan, I would say maybe three things. One is the performance. Allplan is very fast. I mean, comparing to other tools I've been working with, it's the performance very high, very high. Also, using the graphic card is very powerful, and you get impressive visualization of the model. And also, I like the modeling tools that incorporate the smart parts language, because they extremely simplify the modeling of complex shapes. For example, doors and windows with curtains or shutters, stairs with complex ramps. This kind of tools that you use most in every project. They are very simple to model in Allplan, and also would like to talk about the multifile structure, which I would like to highlight. That allows to, for example, editing multiple files in a single view very easily, and this now takes a long time. For example, I can edit windows of several different files in one screen, and this kind of work that you have to do many times during the day, that's is quite fast.
And Silvio, go ahead.
Yes, maybe the most interesting feature in Bentley software is regarding the DGN file, because every solution, every tool is based in the same DGN file. So we have this interoperability, which is interesting. And also the fact that this DGN file has changed only once in 40 years. So 20 years ago, it changed and the file is the same. So I can open a file made today in 2001, for example, it's the same file. So we don't have some problems to go back and forward. This is interesting.
Okay, and now is the opposite. What is the thing that you hate more as modelers? But trust me, this is not a question about your environment, because the fourth of the environments are here and are in a stress test. But what is the sensation that something can be improved, or the thing that must be changed in the next version or something like that, the suggestion for Autodesk, because the brands, the software makers are seeing our events and are seeing a lot of things. And you see, I know that you know the influence and you know the impact of these events, but it's good for the market, and then this is not negative. It's something I prevent the watchers to see that we are going ahead. We are not going back, okay? And then feel free to suggest your sensations, okay? And take care about that.
I was thinking from Revit, I can have like a full list of new things that I would say that Autodesk should improve, but I think it's pretty much the same into all the platforms. Like whenever you are using any of these platforms, you always want more and more and more and even more. Even if it's a new feature, you want them to be improved as you want. I mean, so there's a lot of things that I would like to be improved in Revit, actually. One of them, well, I will say only three, okay? One of them is performance, because I'm sure that I can do much way better on that regard. So performance is one issue. Another important one, which I think they are, you know, far behind, I would say, is the work sharing. It needs to be improved because it's still, well, it works fine, but it can be much way best. You know, again, it's related with performance as well. And the last one that I want to highlight is the 2D tools. We all know that we are talking about BIM softwares, 3D, and the 3D that we have, the 3D tools that we have in Revit, they work super fine, and I'm super happy with them. Yes, it can be improved. I'm sure that it can be improved, but because, you know, when you are producing drawings, you need to do always, you know, 2D elements on top of the model for the embellishment. And I think they can improve a bit better the 2D tools as well.
Okay.
Well, about ArchiCAD, they are always surprising us. There's a wish list, a big wish list from users and from a lot of people. And for me now, it works everything okay. It just needs some little improvements. Okay, I can do this, but on this, I just need one more little thing. On the several things, it works all together. I can have everything that I want, from plan sections, elevations, whatever, color, no color, black, no problem. Everything is fine. Just need some adjustments. So it's a light software. It's a simple software. We don't want to be a pain software, some difficult to use. So if they could keep doing this way, it's nice. You don't need more tools that can make like Reno, Grasshopper. No, they have another guy that make this and can import. So this way it works just perfect, just fine.
In Allplan, I have a very old wish, which is that that I miss from long time, that to have more tools to model systems, plumbing, HVAC systems that right now have to use other tools. So I have to learn other tools, to pay for other tools and learn other tools, etc. And that would be a good impact to all the Allplan users, to have all the systems that you can produce in a building, in a building project, to be able to model it in Allplan. And also, in the last version, they enhanced the Ifc Export, which is also something that Allplan could do it better. I mean, to be able to use classification standards, and that has some catalogs with already associated Ifc standards to BIM components. That would be very easy to export and not to lose time to match every component to the classification item, etc. This would be my two right now wish list, important wish list.
This is interesting because if all users want more speed, of course, just that you said, performance is very important, and for me it's important too. The organization of the information is important too, because when we have a platform with multi-files, especially for configuration, we have problems to organize the information. It would be good to organize them, although I understand that as a software development, they're probably working on it, and we are seeing step-by-step development. So, okay, so my main desire, request for Bentley would be an artificial intelligence for authoring tools. The tool, it would be good for the tool to understand what I want to do, and not I'm telling it what to do. We do several things several times in a repeated way, so it would be good that the tool can understand previously what I want to do. So artificial intelligence is a key for me.
mean, OpenBuildings is so great, and there is nothing there that you are willing for artificial intelligence, and so do I. Okay, that's good. That's perfect. You know, if you have something to you know, to talk about the others' comments or something like that, you can interact with. We are in confidence here. Okay, let's go to about the other systems. Okay, you are talking about the other systems. The question is, there is something that is happens, something that are interesting, and you see that you haven't this success because of the system. Maybe it's not in your scope because it's different system, but achieves some improvement that you wish for you, or something that you can add to your environment. Okay, and what would you add from another system to yours?
Well, yeah.
Sorry. We go to, and this time we go to Claudio, and then we cycle. Thank you.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Sorry, apologize. Claudio.
Okay. Sorry, I was unmuted. So I think I already answered on this question previously. Okay, there are things that other softwares can do better, but with lots of work on it. So for what I see, I prefer work with ArchiCAD, and there's nothing in particular that I want. Okay, I want that piece of software from Revit or from OpenBuildings or whatever. No, ArchiCAD is fine. Now is fine.
Okay.
Yes, I also said it before. I would add a set of tools for the design of mechanical systems, and also for designing complex steel structures. There's something that is important in Allplan, that mainly you can design simple steel structures, something like that. They have a very interesting model to model complex detailing of concrete structures, but not steel structures. So it is something that I miss from other tools, from the rest of tools, and also I miss what I like a lot is the same file format for the different disciplines that Bentley has in its big portfolio of different solutions. Yeah, this is what I miss from Allplan.
Interesting, Sergio, because
yes, it is.
One thing that I miss in Bentley is the synchro integration with OpenBuildings, because to get information from OpenBuildings, you have to export in Ifc format, which is not a direct solution, so it's not directly integrated. I would prefer that synchro opens directly a DGN file instead of export. Okay, it's directive. And other feature I miss is a direct integration of the BCF files, which Bentley did a workflow, which makes sense using project-wise 365 to use BCF files and coordinate these activities, but we don't have a direct integration using the OpenBuildings and BCF files. So I miss these two features in the Bentley system.
Matthew?
Okay, so I don't know if I missed something from your question, Gustavo, because as far as I understood, you were asking if I want to incorporate something from the other three softwares, Allplan, OpenBuildings, and ArchiCAD.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we were discussing about Vico and BCF, and it is not related with the other ones. So
not really,
I mean,
authoring environments, then let's talk
yeah,
about
because then I can talk about,
okay.
you know, because then I was about to talk about other modeling softwares, and it's not OpenBuilding or Allplan or ArchiCAD, because, you know, this is a tricky question, because to answer that one in a proper way, I need to know exactly how to work with the other softwares. And the only one that I didn't try before, it's Allplan. So I can only talk about EcoSim and about ArchiCAD. ArchiCAD was my first software that I worked.
Multi-platform guys. You need to be a multi-platform guys.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The only one, and then I will answer to one of your questions afterwards, or maybe we're going to touch bases on that one, and I will explain why I will refer to Allplan. Because now it's not fair, because I'm not going to talk about Allplan because it's the only platform that I don't really know how to work with. Because again, until now I worked with EcoSim, not with the OpenBuilding, with the new version, and I worked with ArchiCAD. But again, as a user, I'm not, if you ask me again, which one is the best one, I would say Revit. It's not because it's the best one, it's because the one that I control the most. You know what I mean? So saying that I prefer this one or that one, I need to know like almost 100% as I know Revit, to be able to, or capable to reply to your question. And to be honest with you, like if I think in EcoSim on top of my head, like I don't remember anything. From ArchiCAD, there's nothing that I'm missing. I mean, maybe there's one small tiny thing that I would like to have in Revit, which is what's the name? Tracer, is it right, Claudio? The tracer, the thing that you can, you are muted, Claudio, but well, we have pretty much the same with in floor plans, which is the underlay. But with tracer, when you activate that one, you can just like with the line, just move to left and right, and you can use it on sections or elevations or floor plans. So you can do it. In Revit, you can only use that one in a floor plan, and you cannot like drag something to see, okay, this is red, this is whatever, because you can see or not see. You know what I mean? So there's no way to do like this moving things. I would say that's a very good tool that ArchiCAD has, since the beginning almost. I would say, I started working with ArchiCAD 7 or 8. I don't even remember, 90 something, and since then I remember it was there. So I think that's the only thing that I'm still missing, and I think that's a very good tool that ArchiCAD has. But again, it's a very tiny, small, but still, it's a very nice feature that we can use in ArchiCAD. But again, like from EcoSim, again, I don't recall like any feature, and Allplan, I don't know Allplan at all. So maybe I will at some point start learning Allplan. It's part of my wish list, actually.
Okay. To close the others platform, there is a question. Is all are tricky questions. You are here for to be in a trouble, okay? And that's the point of the event. And I write something that is interesting. For example, now I want from you something that is personal, which are your second platform, which will be your second platform if you haven't this great love forever and ever about your platform, okay, which is your second the preference that you are not you are not needed to explain that. I love that because love is love, okay. And something that is the same question is your opinion about the competence. There is a lot of platforms there, systems working and for a long time, and the competence between one each other is increasing the value of all the platform because competition creates value. If your opinion about the competition is good for creating value for the users, as being managers, we know that the competition is good to advance because there is a lot of features to increase. And then second platform, and your opinion about this kind of competition is good or bad for the market. It's open. Okay, Claudio?
Okay. I hope nobody kills me about this, but okay, of course.
Online, no problem.
No problem. Okay, of course, it must be Revit. Just for one simple thing, not for me, for my clients, because okay, there's this open BIM, this interoperability with the softwares, and at this moment, discarding, okay, sorry Sergi, sorry Silvio, but okay, my clients work now more with Revit, so I need to know this kind of software that calls Revit. So it could be my second choice, yes.
And
Well,
your opinion about the competence?
Okay, yes.
The competition? Your opinion about the competition is good or bad?
Competition is good, of course. You must have competition, otherwise you stay on the same line. Okay, if you have competition, oh, it's going better. Okay, competition is good. Easy competition. Okay, you have to be compete, but easy, not okay. So competition is very good for evolve, for non-stop.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, what would be my second platform, or what is my second platform?
That's a good point. In this case, your second platform.
Okay, my second platform is OpenBuildings, but what would be my second platform if I could make the choice now? Of course, would be Revit, for the same reason as Claudio said. I mean, everybody, clients know, yeah, clients have the perception that BIM is something like Revit, and they match the Revit with BIM, like
Revit.
they matched AutoCAD with CAD. So that's a fact, and everybody is asking, oh, I want the project in Revit. You want the project? You want the model, or you want what you want? And they really don't know exactly what they want, but they ask for it. Okay, so we need to know
Revit has the
yes.
the one.
So this is I think this is a must for everyone who wants to be involved in BIM projects to know about Revit. But right now, actually, I'm using OpenBuildings Design for the fact that I have to model systems and some kind of models that I cannot do it as fast as OpenBuildings can do it in projects. And about the competition, of course, competition influences other vendors to improve their own platform. I remember when in 2006, when Nemetschek acquired ArchiCAD, and and I thought, oh, maybe they improve the system, the learning curve using the easy of use of ArchiCAD. And the first thing they did is they took the GDL, the geometric description language that ArchiCAD has to model a complex thing in that kind of language, and that was a very good idea for Allplan users, specifically for Allplan users, to do complex modeling using this language that they acquired from ArchiCAD. So right now they have their own smart parts language, which is a cousin of GDL, but it's a good thing that the competition made Allplan better.
It is very interesting, Serge. And Gustavo, I may be very pragmatic about this question, because in first place,
pragmatic people here.
yes, but in first place, the client is the one who decides. If he wants me to use Revit, I use Revit. If I can opt to use OpenBuildings, I use OpenBuildings. Okay, but from the heart, what I want to use, of course, I have several ways to think about it. Because when I do some projects to German companies, I have to use German software. So I have to go to ClickCAD from the English, which is another software, or I have to use Siemens NX. Okay, this is a decision and depends on the client. The same way. Okay, but if I would choose within the architecture field, if I was working on architectural projects, of course, I would prefer to work with ArchiCAD. It's an option. And from the point of view of the market, from commercial, from the commercial point of view, from my company, I have to have it. So the second software in my company is Revit. For architecture, I would prefer ArchiCAD. And Allplan, unfortunately, I don't know enough to say anything about it. I have to learn, just as Desi said, I have to go a little more deep to understand what Allplan is good, because now I understood that Allplan has the DGL capacities of ArchiCAD. I didn't know, so I have to go a little deeper and also know that. I think the best tool to work is, of course, the tool that we know. But the second is what the right one. So this is a pragmatic point of view without the what I want to use.
Okay. If
Well, after Silvio, Sergio, and Claudio said their opinion, I would say that I'm in a good position because I've started with Revit. So now, because all of them wants to work with Revit, which is fine. Well, yeah, it's different if you are talking about the tool that I would like to work with, or the tool that I would like because the market, like the market and the clients are requesting. Until now, what I can say is everyone that I've been working with, they are always asking Revit projects, all of them. There's no even one single, client who came to us saying, okay, or came to me when I was working there, I want you to use, or, well, actually there was one in Ecosim when I was working in Foster the previous time. But regarding ArchiCAD or Allplan, there's no requests, like everyone that wants like a native file format, all of them wants Revit. And maybe because again I've worked with Ecosim and ArchiCAD, I would like to work with Allplan. I mean, whatever I heard before in the past about Allplan, performance-wise, the way that he managed big files, the way that he works and modeling things from the architectural side, this is one of my, I would say favorite tools as far as I'm aware. I saw a couple of videos. It's super interesting tool, piece of software, and I'm interested on that one. But again, from the Nemenchek, and this is about competition and commercial, like competition. For sure, all of us knows that it's good for us as users that there is in place this sort of, competition, let's say, in between the software houses. But again, I was listening what Sergio was saying and Claudio about, not Claudio, because Claudio was talking only about ArchiCAD and Revit, but more Sergi, because he was talking about the GDL that came from Graphisoft and they bought Graphisoft because of the GDL or something like that. I mean, yes, he's right. I still didn't understand until now why Nemenchek has Graphisoft, which is ArchiCAD. They have Allplan, and they still have Vectorworks, as far as I'm aware. So they have pretty much free software, which is, pretty much the same thing, I would say. But again, this is in between them. So I don't know how Nemenchek is dealing with this competition, I would say. But with the other software houses, like let's say Bentley and Autodesk, and even the other ones, Trimble, for example, sometimes you are not talking about Trimble, but Trimble is there as a modeling piece of software, and we need to be aware that they have super nice tools, and they bought what's the name? Now I forgot. I will go back to that one. But anyway, so they have like super nice tools, and we need to be aware of that one as well. So I think this is super good. I remember a couple of years ago when, even before, much before Autodesk bought the Revit, I used to work with ADT, AutoCAD architecture, and I started using ArchiCAD. And I remember that, from Autodesk, they have this, it's not a year basis new updates, but they have like more often updates with the software. And I remember, for example, ArchiCAD, Graphisoft, it was not doing that. So I remember that they stayed like in the same version for a long period of time. So, and since Autodesk started doing this on a year basis, every single year there's a new version, a new version, a new version. I think the other software houses started to doing this one, the same thing, because again, from the marketing, and we are talking about marketing, you know, point of view, I would say that's a smart way of selling your product. You know what I mean? So every single time that you have here and there, new updates and new updates and new updates, and now Autodesk is doing in the 3 months, you know, like 2022 that, you know, was released by today or yesterday, I don't even know. But then they will have 2022.1, 2022.2, and 2022.3, and so on. So this is from the marketing point of view. It's quite interesting the way that they are doing it. Okay, so because it keeps always users like, you know, like waked, you know, for the new tools that they are sharing and everything. And this makes even the other software houses aware that they need to run after. And it's not only from the Autodesk, because, well, Autodesk, I would say it's one of the top ones, but it's not the best one. But, you know, all this, you know, new tools here and there makes all the software houses going after, you know, okay, they did this one, so I can do even better and even better and even better. You know what I mean? So all of this, I think it's super useful and healthy, I would say, for the users itself. Okay. And again, as Claudio was saying, from Graphisoft and from ArchiCAD, in Autodesk, for example, we have even the proper users, they have like a wish list, and they are always incorporating those tools from there as well. So I think all of this, it's beneficial for all users, the end users, I would say.
Okay, you open the door or something. Yeah, Claudio.
Just one thing. You use a word that we like to work with. We don't like. I'm talking for me. We don't want to. We don't like to work with Revit. It's just a need. We must need because of. That's the difference. And here, because I need to know how to work. I frequently go to YouTube and see how Revit works, because my clients work with some guys that working with Revit, and the other guys don't know how to work. So I need to work to explain between my clients and the other one. So this is why I need to know with Revit. And there's just one small correction. You compared that there are 3 softwares. Yes, we have ArchiCAD, Vectorworks, and Allplan, but you can't compare them. Nemetschek has these 3 softwares, but there's nothing equal on 3 of them. They are completely different. Okay, it's the same, but are completely different. You can, a guy from Vectorworks or from Allplan or from ArchiCAD, there are differences. No, it's a different world. It's BIM, okay, but the way of working, it's not the same.
Yeah, and I didn't say that they are the same. I know that they are completely different. I know for sure. What I'm saying is the competition in between the 3 of them. That's what I'm saying. I know, you know what I mean? So yeah, and regarding that, I want to, and I would like to, I know it's different. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, from my side, there's no requests saying or requirements saying, okay, you need to work with this software apart from Revit. They're always requesting Revit. And even sometimes they're requesting open formats like IFCs.
Okay.
You know, so there's no, yeah.
But, you know, from the point of view, I want to add that because now there is some disappointment here. We are all BIM managers and we are talking about the market. If the market is prepared to do the decision, to take the decision, is the BIM manager needed to decide which is the platform the client need? The client is acting, talking about the US market. If the people, the one who talk with the client, contractor, you know, all the stuff, is the engineers, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers, civil engineers, talking about Revit. But in the United States, architects are more engaged with ArchiCAD. And then there is some kind of architect must work with Revit and has ArchiCAD because mechanical engineers says Revit is not best for everyone. The client engage the BIM manager, or we have some BIM manager is not here to decide nothing, and then there is a mess. There is the system that the client don't need. for example, for operate, for example, for large projects. If the project is a multi-sector, you know, which is your point? Must be a BIM manager to decide which is the system, or market is that way and nothing will change. The market will go straight ahead to the to the boundary in fall.
No, I think it must be someone that take care of this. No, otherwise it will be a completely mess. Okay, you have to be on the office and to decide which kind of architecture. Okay, it's a ZADID architecture. You will go with which software or whatever. You have to be with the right kind of software for the right kind of architect. It can be 1, 2, 3 softwares. As you said, you could be working with one or more softwares. So the BIM manager, this is important to decide, not the client, the owner of the office, just draw the things. I want to put that on the plotter, on the printer, on the site. That's the major point.
I guess
so how to put that is on the site is the manager, the BIM manager that can help.
Okay. Sergi,
yes, I think both for platforms can do the same job more or less, but yeah, of course, in different ways. But at the end, you get the model, you get the outputs in the open BIM formats and the prints, etc. I think that the BIM manager should decide, knowing very well the different platforms that exist in the market, and to be able to decide for which project is best, which solution. So I think that yeah, the 4 platforms are able to do any kind of project. So I don't think it should depend on the client. Of course, if it's a private client, you have to, it's the one who pays. But if it's a public client, then it should be, in fact, it is open to use any kind of tool. While the deliverables are in open BIM format, that is clear. But I think the 4 platforms can do the same job for different kind of projects.
In a project, we obviously have to have a plan before starting it. And if the BIM managers decides to choose one tool or another, we are talking about authoring, but there are other tools in the BIM process. So the BIM manager is the one who can decide, but the decision maybe not be over the technical capabilities of a tool or the other tool. Sometimes you have to think, for example, I have some risks when deciding which tool to use in a project, because I have to have people to work on it. So if I have more professionals able to work with Revit in a project, more than the OpenBuildings one that I know, probably I have to decide to use Revit in my project, in a new project. Or, for example, in the other end of a project, the owner operator sometimes have the requirement to work with Revit projects, and there's no option. So we have to plan using this tool, but can be just in the as-built phase, for example, to deliver the project for the client. In the process of the project, we can use other tools. Brazil has other software available also. We have some structural software specialized in Brazilian projects. So we can use these options, and in the end, we have to deliver a model for the owner operator to operate it building. So this is another point of view also. But the BIM manager in the beginning is the one who decides which software to use.
Only in the beginning? My God. I guess the whole project, no?
Yes, okay. You have to start this decision in the beginning.
We are talking about the market, but if the market marks I disagree as a BIM manager. Okay, we are BIM managers here, but it's only starting, and the APD is not well implemented because of this kind of decisions. And you know, this kind of decisions are not prepared the clients or even the consultant of the client. The BIM manager is not really a consultant. It's the one that the architect and others that is editing in the project. From my point of view as a BIM manager, we are missing something here. Is the client and the market can guarantee the success. You know, we need to guarantee the success as BIM managers. And then we are, you know, sometimes it's hard to resist to the power of the money, okay? Because the money seems to be so clever, but I guess not. It's my point of view as a host. I am surpassing my duties, but right now I am acting as a BIM manager. I say, not a decision from the part of the client, and I am sad that this kind of question is not clear for them. But you know, if the question is technical and is operational and is business model, okay. If it's not business model and not create value for the client, I guess it's a question of losing money, everyone. We as BIM managers and the client, you know, and then we are proceeding with this kind of information to be aware in the market. But the press is so high. I know that Silvio, you and all of you have a lot of press, a lot of large clients, and don't know so much. And we are creating these events and creating this engagement, and you are the perfect ones to tell us, because the market don't know nothing about, or barely nothing about BIM, and you are clearly telling what is expected, no? And I guess we contribute with that. That's the point for me, is BIM managers are the ones who decide which is the system, but must explain the rest of the people. Decio, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty much kind of aligned with what you were saying. All of you guys were saying. I mean, I'm 100% sure that the BIM manager is the one who's deciding, or it's not deciding, but it's guiding the decision, which is different, you know. And because it's the only one who should be connecting the dots, what the client wants and what needs to be done to achieve what the client wants. You know what I mean? And what I can see for the last, I would say, maybe 10 years until now, okay, I see some improvement on this one, because in the beginning, the client didn't know what BIM is, what's the benefits, and what they want to take out from BIM, you know? And on this case, yes, everything is a waste of time, everything, from the BIM manager, from the client, from the consultants, design teams, and whatever. But what I can see now is when the client comes to us, to myself, where I've been working, they already know more and more and more. And some of them, they already have like a proper BIM team in place from their side. And again, they have like a proper BIM manager, and they know exactly what to do to achieve this point. This doesn't mean that it's a straight line from here till there. You go straight into here. Why? Because first they need to have like a project. They don't know who's going to design the project. They don't even know if they know how to work with the tools. But you know, the thing is, what I can see is they know exactly what they want to achieve from the very end user. You know, when for the operators, I would say, or the facility management or the asset management or whatever, they know already what they want to get from there. And they pretty much know the path that needs to be, you know, driven from here, from the contract to get, you know, the proper product at the end, which is, you know, the building itself, all this asset management, you know, environmental ecosystems, whatever that they want to have in place. And the BIM manager, he doesn't need to have like a super clear understanding of how to work with Revit or Ecosim, or, you know, not Ecosim, OpenBuildings or Allplan or ArchiCAD or any other, but they need to know that, okay, for me to get this one, I need you from the design team to explain how can I get it here. But again, as I was saying before, all these clients, when they come to us, they know exactly that they want to work with Revit, with Revit. So if they want to use Revit, and because they have super clear, that for them to get this one here, they know exactly, and it's not related because I'm working with Zaha did or with Foster or with anyone, because these guys, these design teams like Foster and Zaha, we cannot say that we'll not be doing your project because you want to use another different piece of software. You know what I mean? So that's why we are always working with all of them. We are not aligned, from where I'm working from Foster. We are not subscribing anything because we don't want to be like side by side with the software houses, because we want to use whatever we want. And the software houses sometimes used to do the other way around, like Bentley and Autodesk. They want to be with us because this brand will, highlight everyone. Wow, they are using this one. So this is a very good piece of software. And we say, no, this is not exactly what we don't want, because if I want to use ArchiCAD or Allplan or Vectorworks or even by hands, I can do it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't need to be like Revit, but again, from the BIM manager side, yes, it needs to be like aware that this is what the client wants, and this is what we can get, and this is the way that we need to go from one point to another one. But again, this is important. It's important. I wouldn't say decision, because the decision is coming from the client, but sometimes the clients they have already like a very good consultant team in place for them to guide all the process. And again, they have like a BIM manager from their side. I would say that they need to know, as we should be knowing. And if the client doesn't know, we from the design teams, we need to work as a consultants as well from the client, because sometimes they say, I heard something about BIM and about whatever, so we want this, which again, it doesn't make sense. But again, this is when we as BIM managers, we jump into that one and we try to explain to the clients, no, this doesn't make sense. You should go through this way. You will get that one. And then afterwards we'll have this data and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So yes, sometimes we need to work as a consultants for the clients as a BIM managers.
Okay, guys. And then related to that, the last question about this kind of thing. You don't see any problem to use another system if it's required, because your portfolio is your value and the client wants you. And you must change the system, and that's it. That's no problem at all.
Yeah, I completely agree, Gustavo. We should not be orphans of that specific
problems, and
nothing.
No problem for your studio.
Nothing. Yeah, because again, today Autodesk is the first one. Tomorrow it can disappear, or Graphisoft or Nemetschek or Bentley or any of those. They can simply disappear, and then what? Should we, close our door because it's not possible anymore to design?
You have the ability to choose a software for your firms, no?
Yeah, and again, and sometimes, the users, the ones that I used to talk, my students, or the ones that I used to work with, they'll say, yeah, it's easy for you to say because you are working in a very big, practice. And I said, come on, this is pretty much the same, big or small, it's exactly the same. No difference whatsoever. The only difference is, yes, a very big, company, they can have millions to pay all this software. And the small ones, they only have, some, bucks here and there. So they have some dollars here and there. But again, even if they have millions, like they can have 5,000 users, which is a completely different amount of money for renting or buying softwares, to buy computers. Everything is much way expensive rather than have like 2 or 3 users. It's 1,500 times more because they have 1,500 more users at the very end. But again, the size, the scalability, I would say, I mean, the issue is the same. The issue is pretty much the same.
Okay, guys, something to add?
Probably because what we sell is our intelligence. The project is what we sell. It's not the software. It's not the model. It's our project. So the intellectual property is what we sell. It's different. So it doesn't matter which tool we use. We can use any tool. even by hand, as you said, we can draw by hand also.
Yes, and I think also, I repeat again, the 4 platforms have the same functionality or technology to convince the customer that BIM can facilitate him to take part of the project from the beginning. So we all have different cloud platforms where they or their team can improve the project, can check the project, can revise the project, and to be on as part of the design from the first beginning of the design phase. So and the final product will be exactly the same in the different platforms. So I think that what we must teach to the customer is the process that he wants to, the process we have to do to obtain what he wants to do. We can do it with our platform. So independently of if it's Revit or Plan or ArchiCAD or Vectorworks or OpenBuildings.
Okay, it's everything said already. I think the only I think this I can add is we have to work with happiness. Okay, we have to work with a software that can give us pleasure to work. Okay, for me it's very important, this kind of amusement. It's very very nice.
Okay, let's go to the learning curve. Let's go to the other next issue. Learning curve, but it's so simple. This question is: you consider your learning curve fast or can be improved? Okay, try to be true about that. And your opinion is your opinion all the time, and you know that's it. It can be improved. And how? Learning curve, Sergi?
Well, this is
Sergi,
not just
Decio and Claudio.
okay. The learning curve is not the strong point of Allplan, that is clear, due to its multifile architecture, which is not easy to explain or easy to understand at the beginning, and nor are there many courses on the web for self-learning. So it could be improved by facilitating access to students' licenses so that everyone who is studying could learn Allplan. This is something that Autodesk policy is very good from years. So I think it's one of the key points of
right now.
Success.
Right now, these free licenses, and this an advocate for the public, for the watchers, is no longer available. A free license, I guess, is a mistake. Sorry, but this is an update from your point of view.
It is available, Gustavo. It's still available.
No.
It is. I can say it is available. The difference is now you need to send the proper, you have proper paperwork to be done with your university.
Yeah, but
it's available because
training, but you know there is no.
But not as easy as before.
Right now.
That's the tricky thing, because before everyone, even if you are not as a student, you can get the license, but that's another thing. But if you are a student and now you need to double check every year, but you have, that's the main thing. And because anyone could use the educational license, that's the only thing that Autodesk changed.
We are an educational institution, and the client, the student, is only in the period that we have the course. If you have 3 months, 3 months. No. 3 years, 3 years.
It's 1 year.
Free license is a lot of people engaged with Revit. That's a great success. Was an incredible strategy that now, I guess, because of the COVID, I don't know, returns to the ATCs and AAPs. And this is not available for the public. Only when you pay a course, you are available, or in the universities. If you are in the university.
That's what I'm saying.
You know.
Or schools. So that
professionals on the market.
Yeah, but professionals, you need to have like a proper license. That's what I'm saying. If you are studying as a student,
If you don't know the software, how do you use? That's the you know, the cycle, the vicious cycle. You don't know Revit because it's not free, and you don't use in your company because you don't know.
Yeah, if you don't know the software, you talk with the reseller, and the reseller can give you a license, a proper professional license, can borrow you, can rent you for some.
We talk about that a little bit. Yeah, we talk about
That's you is right. That's you right. You can't work, you can't train, or you can't make experiences with educational versions. That's a mess. You'll create a file that you then cannot open on the last software, on the commercial version, and then it's start to getting everything confused on that. So it's for students, you have students and everything.
A little order here, a little order here, a little.
Yeah.
Okay. You are not in the street. You know, this is not a street fight. Okay, we are talking about the learning curve, but do you know the subscription is the next section is dealing with that question. Is people that professionals are don't need to have a license if there are employees of a company. For example, I guess nobody owns a license in Arup or Foster or ICOM or something like that. They need to know the software, but it's impossible to know the software if you have not a license and you are an architect, okay? And then the free licenses avoids piracy, avoids the people getting the licenses from, you know, the dark market, you know, the dark web, you know, and that's a problem because piracy is a problem for the market. But now we are talking about the learning curve, okay, and then go to the subscription, and I guess we are going this way. But the learning curve, please, Silvio.
Learning curve, probably OpenBuildings requires the same time effort for the other modeling systems. Once I have tried to teach OpenBuildings in a different way, different than I was instructed to do from Bentley, because we were Bentley academic partner at the time, but I tried a different approach without teaching the student several tools. You use this tool this way and other tool this other way. Without getting this approach, I simply told, we have to model this tool, this do that. And when the student required another function, he asked me directly, I want to move this object. Where is this tool? So I tell him, where is this tool? And each step was learned from the point of view of what is required to do. And without spending 1 week to teach, I just spent 1 day to teach, and it was enough to model what was the objective of the day. So I changed some approach, and I know it's not the best approach, but it can be done. So I proved the point of view that if the student has the capability to view, to have this spatial view in his head and know how to work, draw by hand, he can do the model with any tool. It doesn't have to be Revit or OpenBuildings or so. This student in the case just knew how to work with AutoCAD, so there was some steps above, because move and copy and other options are, of course, obvious.
But in the case of OpenBuildings, we are talking about OpenBuildings, not general.
Yes, it was quick.
It's good, it's bad, it's fast.
So I think it's the same of the others. I would want also a better organization, as I said in the beginning, a better organization, not just in the information, but also in the program. But I think the last edition they have made some changes. I'm still exploring from the last month. So I think it's better now, and it will be better to learn in the latest release.
Okay, Decio?
Yeah, I mean, the learning path in Revit, it's super easy. I mean, there's a lot, there's a super big, I would say, one of the biggest, communities in the world regarding Autodesk, all the softwares and Autodesk softwares, and especially Revit. There's, for example, Portuguese, English, French community. There's a worldwide community. There's a YouTuber all over the place. So anywhere you can know, Revit as you want. You have universities that teach, Revit as well. We have this. It's the proper authorized training centers. There's a lot of videos in LinkedIn Learning all over the place. So I would say it's super easy. It depends on you, depends on your mindset, and depends if you want to learn or not. For example, I can tell you, 20 years ago when I started working with Revit, not even Autodesk. Autodesk, I think they bought it in 2002. So I started in 2000. And on that time, we didn't have even, YouTube. YouTube is from 2005. So it was much way difficult back there rather than today. So today, I think it's super easy for you to learn Revit or any piece of software.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, learning curve in ArchiCAD, it's very simple, very easy. For my experience in implementation or in case of studies, universities, after 6 hours of a simple training, you can build the first phase of the project. So it's very easy, very intuitive. So nothing to be alarmed of. It's just simple and it's just there. So it's done.
Okay, let's talk about the subscription model. Okay, start Silvia. The question of the subscription model is that is your maybe in the next future all the platforms will go to subscription model, and if this has a kind of problem of presenting an issue that the support will, because the subscription is directly done with the brand. For example, Autodesk has subscription and is getting the distribution. Autodesk has no a distribution network that is usually supporting the client. Only a few consultants in supporting the client. And this is a service, okay? For example, Allplan is supporting so much the clients, and this kind of support is going, I guess, goes backwards. Okay, this is my point. And are you agree with me that subscription has a lot of advantages and some disadvantages?
If you think from the point of view,
it is the future. Okay.
Yes, from the point of view of the software vendor, of course, there are many advantages because the software vendor can control the licenses which each client has, of course. But I think we should have flexible options, because when we have several ways to use the licenses, if I am a customer which I can't afford to subscribe every year for a software. For example, public companies, governments, and so on, they have to have the budget beforehand, 1 year before or 2 years before. So if they can't pay the subscription in 1 year, they have to download everything from the cloud, because you don't have the common environment anymore. So you have to have everything locally and have to store everything. This can be a problem for this kind of company, but I like the idea to have flexible options, to have a subscription or to have the perpetual license, or if I can rent a license for a specific period of time, 2 months, 3 months, 1 week, or even pay-per-use. They can be very. There are several advantages, and from the support point of view, of course, it's better when we have software with support, because from time to time we have problems, and the next edition of the next release of a software sometimes correct the problem. So if I have this subscription, support subscription, for example, I can have this help. So I agree, it's important, but can we say can I say some ideas of the pay-per-use, for example? So my company has a flexible licensing agreement. If I need to use, for example, open roads for a specific project, I can use it, and I will pay after 2 or 3 months. So it's open, all the portfolio of software is open. I only pay for what I use and for my perpetual license, which I have for OpenBuildings. But if I want to use Synchro, for example, I can use it, and I will pay for it the next month. For example. These are different ways to subscribe or to buy licenses.
Decio?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes all sense, to be honest with you. I think the subscription model, it makes all sense. I mean, it's like maintenance, contracts. So, and again, I think it's flexible. I think, for sure there's some disadvantages, for sure, but that's a matter of price, and I think we'll be discussing this after. But from the model itself, it makes all sense. It's much way easier, even for the companies. And as we move for the future, I would say that then at some point we will not be even needed to install the software in your computer, if that makes sense. So it's much way easier. It's like pay as you go. You will go there, you'll use for a day or a month or a week. And then if you want to go for a competition, for example, and you need to hire like 10 more people because they will be there for 1 month and 2 months, only for that specific project, and then they will leave, it's easier, it's flexible. You can rent it, you can have it for a while, 1 year, 1 month, whatever, and then, you're free to go, or you are free to get it or to keep it.
Okay, at Graphisoft this moment we have a perpetual and subscription license. You can buy a perpetual license and with an SSA, and every year you can upgrade it. But if you don't want to upgrade, you don't want to pay that extra fee, you just keep on the version that you are on this moment. But for any reason, because you are tired or something like that, or you go for 2 years of a journey around the world, and then after these 2 years, 3 years, you can upgrade the perpetual license to the version that is on the moment that moment now. So as said, as you said, is you have disk too. You can buy it and it's on yours, or if you have a 5 license now, but I need a collaboration for 1 week or 1 month, then you have this subscription, and you can do this for a short period of time.
Something similar is happening in Allplan. Yeah, I think so. The market tends towards the subscription model. That's clear. Right now in Allplan you only have the perpetual license, but also with a software service contract, which is the maintenance, the annual maintenance. That means that includes support, technical support, upgrades, and some other web services that Allplan has. But of course, it is easier to manage a license. It's easier to manage license when they are needed and does not require a large investment as it does right now in Allplan. But right now, Allplan only has the perpetual license, but also you can use for a month, for example, if you don't have an internet connection to connect your license, you can use the license for for 30 years, 30 years without connection, and but they don't have the subscription methods right now. But I think I see no sign of this is going to change. But I think maybe in the future they will have to go to this method, so like other platforms do.
Okay, let's talk in the same way. Let's talk about the price. If you see that the price that you have now, your software has, is fair, is the right one. This is not a question of is the right price or not. If the market can pay, this is not a fair price. But the question is now, it's a tricky question, because price is paid by a lot of architects, for example, in the world, and then they buy the application. But on the other side, you create value for the client, and for the time of the project, the client is the one that should pay for the one, but now is not working that way. And then if the price of your environment is fair for you, and if only one price for the whole world is fair, that's an important question, because United States, Spain, and Colombia are three absolutely different scopes. Okay, that's the question. And if the pay-per-use can be some solution for that. Matthew?
Well,
sorry, Silvio.
Okay.
I am not remember. Okay, Silvio, you start.
About the price, yes, I understand that the market is self-regulating, of course. If the market can pay, they will pay. And when a competitor has a lower price, the other gives promotion value-added packages for several softwares for the price of one software, and so we see this happen all the time. So of course, it's a good idea to check if there will be costs at the end of the subscription or so, because when we talk about perpetual licenses, at the end we have to pay subscription for all of the portfolio. Okay. I know that Bentley has a pay-per-use prepaid service, which you pay in advance. For example, $20,000 you have in cash for Bentley, and I can use in any subscription anytime. It does not expire, and I can use it. I will get this from this account, for example. This is one way of subscription. They do not market a lot. Not many people knows that Bentley has this kind of service. But this is interesting. But coming from the sales area, I know how the composition of the price of a software is made from my point of view, because I checked how much we pay for marketing and sales services and how much is the rest of the payment. So just a number to think about. If 50% of the cost of the software is directed to marketing and sales, so we will pay the programmers 50%. No, of course not. It's less than that. So the cost, the real cost of the software would be about 10 to 20% of the final price. As I checked, it was a shock for me when I first saw that, because most of the price composition was directed to marketing and sales operation. Okay, this is a company, they have to work, they have to fit, and in the end, if you don't market and if you don't have a sales effort, you can sell the software. I understand that. But it's very painful as a final user to understand that most of the price composition is not for the software development. The software development is not the most expensive part. The most expensive part is the marketing and sales effort. That for us, but the competition regulates this market. If one company wants to sell more, probably they will sell at a a lower price to get more of the market share, for example.
Fair or not fair? The price is good, it's fair, it's a little
For
high.
me, it's not fair. Then, and the other thing, I know that has policy different prices around the world. So Brazil has one price, America, United States has another, and Europe has another price.
And it's okay for you?
It's okay for me, I understand.
Yeah. Okay, Decio?
Yeah. I mean, price is never, fair enough. I would say the lower the better. I would say this is what everyone wants. I mean, and then what drives the prices is the market itself. So if you can sell a product 10 times more than the value of itself, you will do it because the market wants to be, sell like that one. But again, I think Silvio did, like a very good explanation how they set up the price. I'm not going to go through it. I mean, it's super clear that, I would say, at least as far as I can see, that from the marketing side, I would say that the Autodesk drives, it's driving the process. It's one of the bigger companies who does, I would say the better and the best marketing, I would say almost all over the world. I mean, this is my opinion again. So I think, and that has a cost for sure. I mean, that has a cost. But again, I think it's not fair because the lower the better. It's only because of that, because then we can debate. I think the for platform, the price itself, it's pretty much the same, I would say, because we need to compare exactly what they do. But again, it's pretty much the same. One may be higher than the other one, but the difference, it's not like half of a price. Sometimes, the software houses wants to show like, okay, they're 10 or 2 or 3 times more expensive. It's not like that, and we all know that, because if it's that different, there's no companies will go to one direction and not taking the other one. Again, the lower the better for all of them. Regarding, having the same price all over the world, I would say it's not fair, but I think with all this globalization thing that, we can buy things all over the place, and then the software houses, they are starting have this policy of, if you have a subscription, you can buy anywhere, and then you can use anywhere because there's no, like cloud-based whatever. This is where we are adding to. I mean, it's not fair. I can understand. I don't agree with that one. Even in a small, like in Europe or US or, Asia or whatever, they have different prices. But even though, having the same price, for example, in Portugal or in UK or in Spain or in France, or it's not even fair, or in Germany, for example, because all these minimum salaries and everything, the costs of the life in there, it's completely different. So it's not fair, but I think there's no solutions to that one. And again, if they are starting removing all this, middlemen, the sellers and this marketing thing, the price should go down, should drop. But again, if the market's still buying at this price, so why are they going to drop the price to be more, more cheap?
Good point.
You know what I mean? So again, I mean, the only thing that I would like to is to have Autodesk on me, and I would say, okay, can you sell it for 5K? Yes, you can. Okay, so I will be doing it. Why am I going to sell it 2K? You know what I mean? So if the market itself, they will buy it, why not?
That's okay. Okay. Next question is that way, goes that way. Okay. Good question. Good point. Claudio.
The price. This question of price is one thing is price, or another thing is value. Okay, you can't compare a Ferrari with a Fiat, and it's a car. Okay, the price must have something added. Okay, so is it fair? It's not fair. I don't know the numbers as Silvio explained, but I was curious at this moment. But what I think is it's okay. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive. I think the price is on the middle range, as I can say. And we have several prices. We have prices for 1 to 5 license, 1 to 3 license, 5 to 10 license, different prices, and 10 and more licenses. I have a different price. And also we have different prices, and I agree with Décio and says that in Silvio, the prices must be different in different parts of the world for the reasons that Décio said, and I will not say it again. Okay, it's different. It's different countries, different wages. So we have to be prepared for the price for that. If someone decides that the price will be all the same, I think it will be a chaos total. Everything it will be not the USA, not to the France, Germany, but the other guys. I think they will start using Rotrings and Stedler and drawing by hand, probably.
I think that the price is very cheap in every platform, very super cheap. In comparison for the value you give to the customer and the value you give yourself and the productivity you give yourself. And especially if we consider that the IT expenses of an organization, it represents maybe the software expenses, maybe the 3, 4, 5% of the annual expenses of an organization. And that's nothing compared to the value you give to your company and your customer. I remember that when I was working in Nemetschek 5 years ago, we had a special price, even for Spain, different for France, different for Italy, different for Germany. And the German price was almost the double price of Spain because of the cost of life. That was fair. But today I think that all companies tend to unify the prices. At least at Nemetschek, you have only one price for whole Europe. I don't know exactly if it's different in Asia and in America, but in Europe right now you have to pay the same if you are German or you live in Spain or you live in Italy, and then also as you pay for the perpetual license, and I'm talking about the Allplan method, which is the perpetual license only, and also the annual fee for the maintenance. But from my point of view, it is not a question of price right now. If you prefer one tool or another tool, is very cheap if you compare it to the expenses you have in an office.
Good point. Let's talk about support. About the support of your companies, different strategies here related to the subscription. There is company that has, like Autodesk has a subscription model, and then support comes from the community for other professionals that these professionals are available on the market, no? But the company hasn't. On the case of Allplan, for example, the support is complete, or ArchiCAD, for example, Nemetschek changed this model and is more like in a middle between Autodesk model and Allplan model. And Bentley supports, okay, OpenBuildings. But you know, this kind of interaction with the client gets the value of something that you achieve, talking with the clients, with architects, engineers, with one model is not going to the software maker. On the other side, it's so expensive to have this distribution and impacts the money. And then talk with us about this issue of the support and the different strategy and the goods and the bads, okay, of the support of your environment. Décio?
Well, support-wide, I would say that Autodesk has a very good, how do you say, structure. Okay, so they have different support levels, if you want to say. And again, it's based on your subscription or which kind of subscription you are going through if you want to have one. So if you are paying the software, You have the normal main, support. So you have an issue, whatever that is, you can send through the Autodesk support, and then they will come back to you. If you have, like, for example, a business, like they have proper names for those ones, and I think they changed now. But anyway, if you want to have to pay more, you have like a higher support, more dedicated to the client. They will be more available for you. They will have better support regarding the knowledge. The support people, they have more knowledge, and so on. But again, it's a matter of money. If you are paying that subscription, which is much more, then you will have it. If it's worth or not paying that one, it depends, I would say, because depends who is in the back ends. So depending of the user or the people, the person itself who's supporting you, if they have the knowledge, because it's tricky, because sometimes they know the software much better than I know as a user, as an end user, but they don't know how to work with the software on a project, for example. You know what I mean? So the thing is, and this is tricky, because they will say, no, you are doing it the wrong way. And I say, so what's the best way? And they will say, it depends. Depends on what? Depends on the project. And I was like, seriously? So what, you know what I mean? So sometimes it's quite tricky, this back and forward. And I would say this is not related only with Autodesk. I think this is, all over the place. But again, we have, this normal standard support, and then we have this higher level with more and available support. And then we have like the users all over the place, the community itself.
Yeah, Claudio?
You are muted.
Yeah, sorry, because they have lots of traffic here. Yes, we have a very good support directly to Graphisoft through the resellers, not through the clients. Okay, but also we have a huge facts of helps from the site of the Graphisoft, from users, and on the site everything is there for doubts, if you have any doubts. But if you have problems, and that's what I'm talking about, if you have one problem of something that goes wrong, then we can take contact directly to the resellers, to Graphisoft, and then they have maybe 12 hours, 24 hours answer the problem with solve questions or not solve. Okay, it's a bug, it's not a bug, you should be doing that way or the other way. So everything works fine with this kind of support by Graphisoft directly and through the help center. So fine for all. You're
Okay.
not convinced?
Okay.
Yes.
That's it. Okay. Sergi?
Yes, the technical support in Allplan is given by Allplan directly to the customers, and it's particularly good. At least in Spain, you talk to people, you don't talk to machines, you don't send files and messages, you talk to people. And that's a very, very, very good thing that I appreciate very much. Because when you have a problem, you have to solve the problem today, not tomorrow, and that is not easy for even the big companies like Autodesk or Bentley to support this. But Allplan does, and I'm very happy with the support. And also, in addition, Allplan has a network of partners who provide also even more local support. For example, I have Catalan partners supporting the Catalan customers. The others in Seville with the people there, or in South America they have a specific support in Colombia or in Mexico, and they not only know how to work with Allplan, but they also know how to work in Allplan in Mexico or in Barcelona or in Madrid. So it's a good service they have, and I'm really I think it's a very good value for Allplan this point.
Sorry, Sergi, only an interruption because you talk about the Spain and we are talking globally. And then you are aware that you see us in you have a presentation and you have a map, and then not all the countries are supported. Or, for example, not all the states in the United States has support. But you know, when this is more in the main cities, you know, we need to know if the quality of support in Spain. I know because I know you, and I know that you are you have this kind of service. In the rest of the world is the same, you guess, or
in
only
Europe
that Allplan is, or
and Europe is. I think it is the same. I mean, in all the
we need to know if this kind of service is available everywhere, because that's the point.
Of course not. It's not available everywhere, but Allplan has partners in the, I would say, in the most advanced countries, and where Allplan doesn't have a subsidiary, they have a partner, and they have a technological partner, which is an expert in Allplan, and they know the market, the local market, for example, in Korea, for example, in Japan, for example, in Singapore. They have specific partners, and there's no Allplan office. It's a partner there that can support the local clients.
Okay.
Almost in everywhere.
Okay. Silvio?
From my point of view, because my former company was a reseller from Bentley, we always have the philosophy to give an answer to the client, no matter the question what it was. Because sometimes a technical question should be asked directly to the programmer, the software developer, the person who developed the software. Okay, this is one point. But thinking about the supports that Bentley does today, because from time to time, software houses decide to have resellers, and sometimes they decide that everything must be done inside, and they don't have resellers. So it changes from time to time. Nowadays, Bentley do the support directly from them. When they have an office in the country, the support is provided by this office in the country. It can be in Europe, in Brazil, or Middle Eastern, or Asia. In each country, if it has the software Bentley there, they can have the specific support for the country. And it's a good point. But when the country does not have, for example, if I have a problem in Colombia, if I am a user in Colombia, my support will probably be directed to Mexico or to Europe, because Bentley has this division all over the world. I mean, North America is one country, and the rest of the world is another country, for example. So they will direct the answer.
Geographical.
Sometimes it takes too much time. So for us, the users, sometimes it's faster to use a forum that Bentley has for community in internet. For me, I have shortcuts because I know personally some of the developers, so I can contact them directly. But it's not the common user. The common user will ask the support, and it takes some time. And I heard a lot of colleagues saying that Bentley sometimes takes too much time to answer a question for technical support.
Okay. Then the question of the support is quite important for the implementation. And then you got the big managers that most of the times are like you, like others, are prepared to answer the questions. In your opinion, my theory, my thesis is that these consultants or other consultants are contracted to get the support, and even the education, you know, given the training and then the support for the whole team. And this kind of support is working better than the software maker support. Decio talks about something that I agree, is that software makers doesn't know nothing about how we use the software, not a lot about the software, but we are the ones who has the experience in the situations. And then outsourcing the support with specialists, with consultancy is better support and will be the first option or not?
To be honest with you, I would say no. I don't think so. But again, I think it depends where you are in the software usage. You know, if you are a super high, you know, in this case Revit expert, I would say that, you know, if you have an issue that it's a super big, massive issue, and then it needs someone at least, I would say, at that level, you know. And I don't want to compare if you are here or there or there. It doesn't need, you know, it's not related with the size of the practice, but the size of the practice sometimes will define which kind of issue you are facing, if that makes sense, which is a tricky thing, you know, because if you are going back to your support, we need to understand that all this support from the software house or from the seller or from a consultant, they are capable or able to solve the problem because they are learning from the end users, I would say. And the thing is, because they are there, they are learning from us, they are learning from you, they are learning from the other ones. And sometimes they are there just to connect the points and say, okay, this is the same issue. There's a path in here. There's always the same thing. So maybe to solve that issue, we should always be doing the same. You know what I mean? So sometimes it depends which project and where you are working, they will be able to solve that issue or not. Second thing is, if you have an issue, and then you are talking with someone, which is the seller, which is the consultant, which is someone else, and then you are raising that issue to them, you will explain them what is the issue. And then they will say, you know what, maybe this is a bug, or this is something that the software doesn't deal with. And then they will try to go back to the software house, the main one. And then they will try to say, what is the issue? But sometimes, because I'm here, they are here, and the Autodesk is there, or anyone is there. And, you know, I'm explaining to these guys, they will understand 70% of what I'm saying and my issue. And then they will try to communicate this one into that level. You know what I mean? So it's much way easier to go from here all the way up rather than doing, you know, this way here and there.
It's possible. You know,
Sorry,
the
again?
direct contact with the software maker is completely.
Well, it depends the
tricky,
contract.
tricky
Yeah,
thing.
it depends. If you are paying the software, you always have the
Yeah,
support.
yeah.
Always have the support.
More
And then
than
if you are
500
paying,
licenses, okay.
yeah, not even one. I have one license. I have only one license in my name, personal name. And if I want, I can raise an issue to Autodesk, and they will reply. They have 48 hours to reply to myself.
This is true. It's
Yes,
fantastic. Yeah.
yes, and it works. The thing is, sometimes I'm saying, okay, this happens, and they will say, do you have this one? And I was like, sure, I did it. I checked, because it's the first thing that we will be checking. You know, if you have the software updated, if you have your Windows updated, if you have your last, you know, graphical card, drive, whatever installed, you know, all these kind of, you know, things. That's the main difference when you are working with the standard support or with a higher level, because you need to pay more to have like a proper one. And then when you have a proper one, it's different. You know, then you will have another extra layer of information. They will be more aware. The relationship in between us, the end users, and with the developers itself, it's much way faster. You know, in Foster, for example, if I have an issue, if I'm raising some issue, someone like from the higher level, they will call me back again saying, okay, what's your issue? With 2, 3, 4, 5 guys from there. You know what I mean? It's because, you know, we have this higher support, I would say. You know what I mean? But again, we need to think that in the back end, as I was saying before, they will have users like us with their expertise trying to solve our issues. You know what I mean? And again, if I'm a super high level user and I know a lot about Revit, I would say that at least for them to solve my issue, sometimes it's super, you know, straightforward or super clear and we cannot see it. But, you know, I would say that in the other side, it needs to have someone like, as a minimum, like me, because I don't know that much, I'm still here. If they are here, and if they don't have that expertise, it will be difficult for them to say, okay, to solve this issue, you need to do this and that and that and that and that.
Your hypothesis is the consultant is not prepared like you, is less.
Well, yes, yeah, it can be, it depends, it depends. If the consultant is a super high qualified.
The consultant is not exceptional, that's the problem,
Yes, and again, it depends, because sometimes it's easier to talk with the seller, because the seller, we are paying them, I'm buying the license to them, so they are getting some money, and the only thing that they can give me, it's this kind of support. And again, it's much way easier and faster for me to go straight to the seller, because he knows from his experience how to deal with these issues. And then again, because they are the sellers, they will go straight to the Autodesk, and it should be easier. But still, I mean, it's not like that. It's not always like straightforward.
Yeah, I see an issue especially in the Autodesk network, because this is not usual that the distributors are only sellers. It's not usual that the distributors, like the case of Spain, Portugal, I don't know in UK, I don't know Latin America, but usually it's not a distribution network. It's a distribution network, not a support network like, for example, Nemetschek, Allplan, or ArchiCAD that goes backwards, because now are only a few. For example, in the case of Spain, that we are coming from Spain, we know this experience. And then it's an issue for ArchiCAD. I know for sure, because you know that I know this kind of study manager. I need to know this kind of things, and that's a question about Autodesk distributors is more a business than than the support that other companies has, and it's more in Europe a selling point in EMEA for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And that's the whole point. It's only one place.
Well, again, it depends which kind of contract you have in place. But again, they are concentrating all this information in one single point. If it's in US, EMEA, or Asia, or Middle East, so they have this points here and there. Yes, that's for sure. But again, if you have even
for Autodesk, no, you are more confident from the central point of Autodesk to.
But even from the Autodesk,
but it's the cost.
Yeah, but even from Autodesk, because for example, here in Europe, EMEA, so Europe, Middle East, and Asia, and India as well. They have here in Europe, they have an office. Autodesk has an office, a support office in Barcelona, and they have another one in Switzerland. Okay, so they have these 2 points here, and that depends on the software, but Revit, they have these two. But for example, the Switzerland one, it's not only for the EMEA. They are supporting as well clients from US or from Brazil. It depends the size of the practices. This is the way that they have structured their support as well.
Okay. Is expensive, the support that you pay extra for this kind of?
I would say it's not cheap. Again,
of the price of the subscription.
I'm not sure about it. I can't, because again, it's different if I'm buying one license, or if I'm buying 10 licenses, or 100 licenses, or 1,000.
Foster, no?
Yeah, but but the last word, yes, I know, but then it's not, because again, if I'm buying 600 licenses, it's different if I'm buying 10 licenses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's cheaper for us if you divide into 600 licenses,
for sure.
rather than, paying even less, but divided into 10 or 5 or 20 or 50, so it's like different.
My God, but you are the 3% in the rest of the world.
No, like
large contracts, no.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Foster, Arup,
Even, for example, I know that we are not paying this super high, contract to have support from Autodesk, because again, sometimes, as a support, I think it works pretty much the same across all the platforms. I would say they are developing the tool, but sometimes, not sometimes, they are developing based on the, users need. So for them to learn and to understand the software itself,
That's
they
the
will
point.
come back to the end users and they will learn from ourselves the way that we are working with the software, and the way that we are working with the software may cause some bugs here and there. You know, that's why I think all of the platforms, they have like proper beta testers, for example, because they will be testing the way that we used to work on a project basis. And this might cause issues here and there. And sometimes they come back to me say, okay, yeah, but this is not the proper way, the tool that is developed to do that one. And I said, yes, I know, I can understand, but this is the way that you should be developing the tool to work this way, because this is the way that I would say the majority of the users are using. Why? Because we just Google it, you know, Google knows everything. And we will see that, you know, this issue, it's not coming only from me, it's coming from the community itself. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, they are learning from us as well.
Okay, Claudio.
I think everything is already said by Decio.
Okay.
The support, it depends of the size of the office, but it depends also the size of the problem. A small office can have a big problem that, for example, the big office don't have that problem because they work in a different way. It's a matter of how you work. You work this way or you work another way. You can work with more details, you can work with less details. So then you have different problems. It depends, and
Okay.
nothing is clear. Everything must be explained.
Okay. Sergi?
Yes, as I said.
There's something to add, okay? No problem, and we proceed.
No. I mean, but it is important in the Allplan side. Maybe they don't have a big technical support department, but they have many little local partners that are experts. So they don't, maybe they don't invest much in subsidiaries, but they give, for example, big commercial margin to these local distributors that have a big knowledge of the system, and they solve the problem, the potential issues they have in the area. So I think it is a good policy to have the customers happy everywhere, in every region.
And last, Silvio, to close this.
Yes, this is one thing I was thinking. When I am a reseller and have an agreement directly to my customer to provide support, I will do the best to help him to solve problems. But as I said before, sometimes from time to time companies change their way of selling. So when we see a company using without using their resellers to provide the support, when you centralize these things, the Autodesk has done a good thing to sell different levels of support, which Bentley, I know that doesn't provide that. They treat every support request as the same, unless this is a big company asking. Of course, if you have 1,000 licenses with a problem, it's different from one user with one license asking for a support, of course, but the cost is the same per license, for example, unless you have this is very interesting what that you said, that different levels of support costs different, but you should use this policy also. It's very interesting.
Okay, let's go to some guys that thinks about BIM is not really more than software. Okay, that kind of experts, and really they don't know because they has no skill. They don't was trained and educated, and then don't know about this thing, and then they don't know. And I don't know how these guys leads to this kind of conclusion. Okay, I don't know because they know nothing. But it's usual in the university that, especially in the United States, it's quite often the question that BIM is software, and software is learned outside the university. It's software, and then this is not important, especially in the schools of art, that is architecture, urbanism. So often, this kind of, we are artists and we are not, people that develop technical skills. And this is a kind of critique from my point of view, because I know that they are mistaken, even with my contributions and my interactions with the university, the implementation of university in Spain and the BIM Academic Forum, both in Comunidad Académica BIM is called in Spanish. And I know this kind of issue. Do you think that they are mistaken, or you disagree with this kind of BIM is only software and this is not a system, and this is not important and I can avoid because it's not important for my development of my profession? Let's try to manage that in your way, please.
Okay, I will start. I'm the top right here, so I will start. No, I think the architects should graduate with software lessons how to work with software. They should experiment all these kind of softwares in the university, and then they decide which one. Okay, it should be curriculum. For me, I think it's one major point, but not just software. I saw lots of people that comes out of the universities. They don't know how to work properly with software. Okay, they start learning in the middle, outside of the schools, because lots of the universities don't have this on the curriculum. And I teach on the university this, and I say it's outside. It's the students that decide to go to this kind of training. So it's important. All the staff from the university, I think they are not on that level. They are not on the BIM level. They are on ages. They stopped there. They just draw and everything must be beautiful. And I don't agree with that. And also about the contact to the clients, about the sales, about the world outside. An architect gets graduated outside, and then what? Now I do a house for my uncle and for my mother, and they will start like this. They don't know nothing about what's happening outside here. So I think that they should.
You mean it's not a problem of BIM? It's general problem of universities isolated in doing a job that is not connected with.
Yes, it's not connecting to the real world. I have a few years ago.
Not only BIM,
not only a few years ago I have a training here that it calls I'm an architect, now what? And it talks about everything, about marketing, about everything, about planning. It's about okay, I need to buy a software, and the software have a cost. I need how much cost my office. Everything it's about it, because they come outside and everything is roses. No, it's not. I can do everything you want. No, you can do whatever your client wants. It's not like this. Okay, major architects do whatever they want. Yeah, but there are few. Most of them, I can do this kind. No, I'm the client. I don't want that. I'm gonna leave that. So you have to adequate the space to my needs, not your imagination. You will not gonna leave there. So I think it will be not just for this kind of BIM, but overall issues about outside worlds.
This connection between the university, the professionals there. No?
Yes. There are professionals, but most of them are professionals, but they are not in the practice.
More academic, you say.
Most of them are academic, yes.
Because are professors and lecturers on the university, but not.
Yeah. Also, I have clients, they are teachers there, but not all. Some should be here more on the hard work to know how you can fold a piece of paper and put it on a box. And that's my opinion.
Yeah. Sergi?
I think universities should
You
have.
go on the-
Yeah, I think universities, yes, should have all the CAD and BIM systems most used in the country in their curriculum. But I know that currently changing the study system is complex and normally depends on whether the professor in charge of the subject is a user of one of these platforms, at least as far as I know. Yeah, but there is not a university that has the
Go
use
ahead,
of BIM.
go ahead. Don't get nervous.
Yeah,
The Polytechnic University of Catalonia is huge, but you know, there is larger universities in the world.
Yeah, I remember, but I was first in Graphisoft and then in Nemetschek. I was trying to knock the door at the university here in all the universities in Spain. It was so difficult to change the curriculum because it depends on the professor. If the professor is good in this tool, then he teaches in this tool. And I had to convince and to do a lot of things to convince them that that tool was necessary for the students to get into the market after they finish the studies. But it was very, 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 very difficult. So I think only if you want to learn to use BIM tools, you have to enroll in a private school, and that's it. At least as far as I know in my country.
Okay. Silvio?
Yeah. From my point of view, for example, in architecture school, we have the aptitude test for the student candidate. So university can check the candidate if they have the abilities to draw and express ideas in a visual way, so on. But also after entering school, we have some classes to learn how to do representation, geometric representation, and so on. After a few years in school, of course, I got the CAD revolution. So we had a new class in the curriculum for CAD design. And now we see some universities including this BIM curriculum in their courses, but it's not the whole point. It's important to learn that the BIM exists. As Claudio said, we have a problem with this. We have the students that don't know how the reality of the market is, because it's different when you are in the university. But on the other hand, you will only have a chance to create in the university, and you have to have all the tools.
Oh, this is so sad.
Because after that you have to comply.
No.
At least without any restraint, the university is a good place to check. But when we think about the knowledge, for the children, we don't teach them how to program, computer program, software programming. Other than Eastern Asia, as I saw in for example, Singapore, for example, children are being taught to program since the kindergarten. And if I have a student that has learned programming skills since 4 years old, when they are in the university, a BIM program is just another tool. A BIM tool is a tool. It's just a tool. He can understand how it works. So in the end, probably we have to rethink all of the educational system, thinking from the beginning. The students from early ages must learn computing program. And now we see several programs, several architects, for example, which are younger than me or everyone here, that they had the contact with gaming and artificial virtual reality program. So they have, how do you say, entertainment in models, modeling, and virtual reality. So probably for them, it will be easier to change. And of course, we will always have those professors that don't want things to change because their field of knowledge will be extinct if they adopt a new knowledge.
Okay, we got the point. We got the point. Decio?
Sorry. Well, that's a good question, actually. A tricky question or not easy to answer question, but that's why you are doing it. So I need to have an answer for it. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not sure about it. Why? Because first, university, it's only 5 years. So you are there to study for 5 years. 5 years, it's quite difficult for you to know all the software. So you need to choose one because you will have like 1 year or 1 semester to learn a tool, one tool. Because in 1 year or even in 6 months, I would say that you will have like 35, 40 hours of that specific tool, if that makes sense. So you need to choose which tool you will be teaching. You need to teach only that tool for 30 or 40 hours. And I think this is not going to solve the problem. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if it's Revit, ArchiCAD, OpenBuildings, Allplan, Vectorworks, AutoCAD, SolidWorks, Inventor, it doesn't matter. But I think it's tricky, you know, because then if you are using that one, that is, you are kind of, you know, it's not wasting time, but if you are taking time for what it should be taught on during those 5 years, which is architecture. So this is a tricky one. So I'm not sure about it. Second thing is, as Sergi was saying and Sylvia was saying as well, is like you have a lot of blockers in the universities. You have the teachers, you know. So if I'm a teacher in the university and if I know how to work with Revit, I will be teaching Revit for the entire, you know, for the rest of my life. Even if they, for some reason, sales stop developing Revit, I'll be there teaching whatever I know. And this is not enough. I know from the practice side, you know, from the office, from outside, you know, from the world outside, you know, we need them. We need to know, we need to have, you know, users that knows how to use the platforms. But even if they have an idea about it, I think we can give them those 30 hours in a week or 40 hours trainings in a week, you know. So that's another thing. So should they waste their time learning a platform? Maybe they will be learning by the book, you know, like click here, do a wall from here till there, click, export, that's it. But then in the other hand, it's not the way that I want them to be doing a wall, because there's a lot of standards, there's a lot of, you know, workflows in place, procedures. How do I want the users to be modeling that wall? Okay, and then it's easier for me to teach them how to do that wall. But again, going back to the universities, there's an issue with the teachers. You know, they don't know how to work with the tools. They stopped, you know, like a few couple of years behind. They are still there working with AutoCAD or maybe drawing by hand. But on the other hand, I think what is the most important thing that they need to learn in the university, yes, they need to know about BIM, that BIM exists, because this is, you know, the market requirement, that they need to be aware what's going on in the real world. But learning tools, I'm not sure about it. Again, they need to learn how to communicate our projects, architectural projects, to the clients and everyone. But again, a tool is a tool, you know, and then you have time to learn the tool after. Even after finishing your graduation, you will have like this intern period, which is around 1 year, where you should be doing or learning all these things, that's why, you know, for example, the RIBA here, or even the ARB, you know, like this architectural chairmans and whatever, that they're, you know, doing this legislation. They are saying, okay, if you want to become an architect, you need to have like 1 year, 2 years as an intern, and then you will learn what is outside. So it's not like finishing the uni, and there's nowhere, any course, any graduation, that after 5 years, you will be like ready to go outside and start working. It's architecture, engineering, you know, medicine, whatever. There's always a certain period of time that you need to be working as an intern for you to learn how to work with whatever tool is outside. Because, you know, I've started in university in '94, and back there, you know, I had AutoCAD, which, you know, AutoCAD is like drawing by hand with a computer, like offsetting, trim, and whatever. It was amazing. But then after I finished, I said, this is not enough. So, you know, like after 5 years, and it could be anything. It could be anything like 3D Studio Max, it could be ArchiCAD, it could be anything. AutoCAD architecture, on that time, there was the software as well. What for? You know, since I left school like 21 years ago, you know, and I started working with the software that was available on that time. You know what I mean? So, and maybe next year, on 2 years' time, I need to be aware, because maybe the client, or maybe the company who wants to hire me as a BIM manager, or even as an architect, they will say, you know what, here, I want to hire you. I'm going to pay like a super good salary, but you need to learn how to work with ArchiCAD. And what should I do? Say yes or no? I would say straight away, yes. I mean, if it's a good opportunity, why should I say no? If I know, I'm sure that in, well, Claudio was saying 5 hours, I can learn another piece of software.
No, for you it's easier now, because you know
Even,
the system. No, you
exactly.
know one system, and then that's the point. That's the whole point of the multi.
You know, it's like writing with this pen. You cannot see it, but I have here like a pen.
Yeah.
Writing with this one or with that one. Which one is the best? It depends. I mean, it will take time. Or driving a car, you know, like, is it a Ferrari or it's a normal car, you know? So it's a matter of getting used to it. It will take me 1 week. If I'm working 1 week with a different software, and I can say that it happened, for example, with EcoSim, they told me, okay, you need to start doing and working with this, you know, in this project. I've started working. In a week time, I was, you know, capable to do floor plans, sections, understand the layering thing. You know, okay, I was not an expert. At least I didn't feel that I was an expert. And with ArchiCAD, it's pretty much the same. I'm not working with ArchiCAD, like working properly for the last, I would say, almost 10 years. But I'm sure if I need to work with it for 1 week, or, you know, starting today, in 1 week time, I will know how to work with ArchiCAD. I'm sure, you know, it's more difficult, you know, like it's a mindset only. And again, and this is the most important thing, is I don't need to learn the software itself. You know, like I need to know that they exist outside. And then I will go outside and try to find that piece of software that will suit me better. Or maybe because, you know, my employer, you know, like they will say, we are working here with this software, so then you need to use this one.
Yeah, that's one thing that you said now at the end, because here the request is, okay, you for working here, you need to work with this. Not as you're saying that a big office, okay, come here and then I teach you the way that I work. That's another way you can convert the architect as you really want. But most of the practices want, okay, I want you want to, do you know how to work with ArchiCAD, Revit, or whatever? Then you have the job. Oh no, I will get one quick office, quick training, and then I come back. Okay, so you don't need to understand the software 100%. Nobody knows 100% of any software, but they just need to know something. Then after they can have more trainings and then go further. But you have to know something. I have brilliant students in the third and fourth grades that working, they have jobs in works in ArchiCAD. They are amazing, and just in the third degree and fourth, and they are just still in the university, and they work very, very good with the software. So
Okay,
that's it.
guys, it's open for you. If you have some comments,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why I was saying that this is a very difficult, question to answer, because it depends. I mean, yes, the best world is to put everything together and in 5 years have like a proper, like architect or a civil or structural engineer or whatever, with a super good knowledge in architecture or structural engineering or civil engineering, and they know, the software, like plugging something on their mind and say, okay, you need to know this one, and that's it.
Well, I changed the subject of the question, and I say the other way. Change the professors and the lecturers of the university, and creates the Decius and Claudius and Sergius and Silvius go in there, because we are architects, we are capable to explain something about composition, something about projects, something about a lot of things, structures even, and so on, because in Spain we are engineers. I create myself as an engineer and as an architect. And then this university is quite different. For example, it's the first time in the history of the architecture where we interact with the model. It's not it's not something that we build with our hands. It's not. You are seeing the model. You are creating and interacting and changing. It's the first time. Never happens. It's an innovation, and then this changes everything. It's a lot of changes. The client, the financial, for example, competence is so important to know how to measure value that you are creating, because it's quite difficult to create value with you don't know how it costs and which are the advantages and how it transforms in cost and eco-efficiency, And then a university with you, I guess, is better than a university with people that thinks that software is not some system, is not relevant, it's only a tool like writing in Word, okay? I guess writing in Word,
Yeah.
That's the whole point of you think that these guys are right, or is quite wrong, and this is a damage for your, not for your environments, for the whole BIM to be implemented and integrated when these guys are coming. There is a lot of people that are in the market right now. There is two groups. The ones that are coming, it's good, but it's a little piece, a little percent of the market. And then we need to change the skills of the rest of the whole market. But universities are not contributing to the whole question.
Which I think, yeah. And which I think they have like a super important, like word, I would say, on this one. They should be in front of everything. All these changes, the university, they need to be there as well. They need to be engaged. They need to be aware. They need to be involved. They need to be there, because it's where everyone is coming. All this knowledge and everything is coming from there. But again, this is what we are saying for a long time. What is BIM? Is BIM a software, or it's not a software? I think it's not a software. I'm saying from my perspective, it's not the software, but without the software, there's no BIM. Yeah. So where is the boundary? Where is the boundary? So if there's no boundary, maybe it's important for us to teach them that there is something called BIM outside, which is involving process, workflows, tools as well, and they need to be aware, rather than, okay, I'm going to teach you ArchiCAD because it's the one that I want.
Okay. I have a great video for you and the watchers. Is Big BIM, Little BIM, what is? Okay, it's the maturity matrix. The other day we posted, and Jose Carlos Lino, our colleague, explained what is Big BIM and what is Little BIM. Little BIM is good, okay, but Big BIM is better. Okay, 2 questions to close this great debate. We debate a lot. Okay, one simple question from 1 to 10 in the grade. Tell me which is the interoperability, the level of interoperability that you guess as your platform. Simple question. Interoperability is good, is bad? Which is the level? 10?
We are not talking about OpenBIM. We are talking about interoperability.
No, OpenBIM. Yeah.
OpenBIM.
Yeah, because interoperability is, yeah, I know your question, but interoperability at the world level must be OpenBIM, because must be shared between elsewhere. You know, that's the concept. But OpenBIM. Let's talk about interoperability. OpenBIM. Decio, you start.
You want me to start? 1 to 10, I would say 6.
Okay. Claudio?
Oh, I'm a much more optimist. I'm more like an 8.
I think you want to change. You can.
No, not me. No, I'm okay. I'm okay with
your
the 8.
opinion about your OpenBIM. Yeah.
Yeah, about the OpenBIM with ArchiCAD, it's in the 8. An 8 just.
Okay. Sergi?
In
Current
OpenBIM, if Decio is 6, I would say 5, but I'm most positive and I would say 7. Let's say it's 7.
Okay,
with
Decio,
no
we'll
OpenBIM interoperability, it's 10.
Okay, but I would say that if Claudio says 8, because ArchiCAD for me is 9. Okay, but okay, if it's 8, because I would say OpenBuilding is 8. But if Claudio says 8, which is, I think it's much better than OpenBuildings in the matter of interoperability, so I have to say 7.
No,
I have
Silvio, I can raise. No, don't.
It's 9.
9,
it's
okay,
9.
I can fix
ArchiCAD
9,
is 9.
then you can raise
like
yours.
Decio, you changed your score or not?
No, you know why? Because I don't trust in IFC. That's why. That's the reason I'm saying 6.
Okay.
Boom.
That's the only thing.
That's a problem of Autodesk.
It's no, Claudio. No, don't discuss that one with me.
Yes,
No.
Autodesk don't like IFC.
No, it's not true. I'm not going to discuss this one here, but it's not true. You know who started the IFC actually?
You know that Graphisoft developed an application to
Claudio,
install on Revit so you can save IFCs to ArchiCAD. Because if you save an IFC from Revit, it will not work well. That's why you don't believe on it.
You know, there is a guy, probably, this is kind of incredible answer that opens the question. For example, you know Rob Jackson from Ron Bryan, that has this kind of discussion with Autodesk, and Autodesk evolved so large in interoperability. And then I am a little astonished, but I respect so much your opinion, and this is something for Autodesk to learn from you. And thank you for this kind of, you are brave to say that, because this is a kind of advance. Because
just to add one thing, what Claudio was saying is a plugin to give interoperability with ArchiCAD, and there's no plugins whatsoever that works on top of Autodesk or Revit or any software that adds more tools that the ones that the API allows you to use. So it's not a matter of Autodesk. And again, who started all this IFC process was Autodesk, as you know, maybe you know. And yes, I'm 100% sure that it was Autodesk who started this process of IFCs. And then if you want, I can send you some information on that note. So it's not about that one. And Autodesk wants as well, as you know, maybe you know, yes, the OpenBIM needs to be certified by the smart building. And Autodesk is certified as well as all the other platforms. So there is the minimum, yes, but I can prove that it doesn't work. And again, you know why? Because there's no one who's supporting the IFC. The IFC, it's an open format. So if there is any issue, no one can complain about it. There's no complaints because there's no one who's taking responsibilities on that format. And every single piece of software that works with IFC, not all of them, but you know, because it's you can edit all this information with a notepad, for example. It's a matter of right click, edit, and everything is in there. So you can change everything in there. You know what I mean? So that's, and there's no support. Whatever it's in there, you cannot complain or blame anyone.
Yeah,
So that's the thing.
The plugin is not for save to ArchiCAD, it's save IFC, a normal IFC.
Claudio, what I'm saying is the plugin itself, when you're installing on top of any software, it will use only what is available in the software. Okay, so it's not adding nothing apart of whatever it's in there, if that makes sense. It's not only the one, it's not the only one who has in there. And they developed because they, you know, the Graphisoft and the Nemetschek, they want to have this interoperability with Autodesk. That's the main reason. They are not adding nothing new to the tool itself. It's pretty much what Bentley did. You know what Bentley did? They can open RFA files, you know, straight away. You know, Sylvia's here, can confirm that one. So it's not adding nothing new to the tool because all the tools, everything is in there, you know. So that's the thing, because the API, as you know, it's opened and they can only use with a certain restrictions, which is detailed by the EULA, you know, the EULA.
Yeah,
the developers needs to be followed. That's what I'm saying. They are using whatever is available in software. They are not adding anything on top of it.
How you explain me if you save one file from Revit on within IFC model based and open it in ArchiCAD, it's open with errors. If you save it with this API, this plugin, and it works fine, there are some translations that are not working, and everybody knows this. That even Autodesk.
Claudio, do you think? Look.
Okay, it's like this. No problem. Okay.
No. But let's.
So everybody knows that Autodesk don't like IFC. The Autodesk wants to be the master. I want to be the god of all. No, it's not possible.
Finally, the debate at the end of the.
Not possible.
No, I'm not
like
going
here
to.
In Portugal, they are crazy. They decide that DWG and DWF are amazing. You cannot do that.
We need 13th floor, not to say your intentions. No, we are talking about technical or more scientific. Right?
Yes,
I agree with you on another event. We can debate about the marketing and this.
No, I'm not talking about marketing.
Yeah, I know, but you are telling Autodesk intentions. The question is the software, and we have the software and we have the facts. We don't need to suppose nothing.
Yes.
If the software is not working, the BIM managers will discard the software. But you know, as I know, ArchiCAD, Revit, Allplan, and OpenBuildings is a hard decision.
Yeah,
right.
And again, you know, from the plugins point of view, let's look to the Autodesk, which I would say maybe it's the third biggest company, software house in the world. Well, at least the top 10, I would say. You know, from the software for the construction and everything. I'm not. I mean, okay, we can think like, you know, like
is largest and Bentley has a great budget. Autodesk is on the Nasdaq, but okay,
yes.
It's a large software company, but there is tens.
Okay, let's say like it's the top 50. Is it okay? Top 50?
Yeah.
Or top 100 if you want.
Top 50.
Top 50. That's fine. That doesn't matter. Top 50.
It's quite giants there.
Yes, I know. I was comparing, you know, like Trimble, Bentley, and Bentley was my top one actually. But Bentley, Nemetschek, which is a big one. You know, I'm not even thinking in Graphisoft, for example, or Vectorworks or whatever. I'm talking about Nemetschek, which is a very big, massive one. So I was comparing only these ones. But again, if you want to compare with Adobe and all of these guys, Microsoft and everything, let's say top 100 or top 50, as you were saying, top 50. Okay, we are talking about plugins, small little piece of softwares, like small minor ones that anyone can do it by their own. As you know, it's a matter of having Visio, know C# and knowing, you know, how to work with API, and they can do it. So do you think that if Autodesk wants to copy, I'm going to say copy, I'm not going to say invent the wheel. copy whatever it's in the market, they will not be doing it. For sure, they will be doing it. For sure, I'm sure. It will be much way, visible for the users. But then the thing is, they will kill all these small developers. You know what I mean? So it's not a matter of, and if they want to block the Ifc export, they will not allow anyone to install anything on top of Revit by using API to be able to export as an Ifc. It's simple, like super simple. If they want to do it, they will be doing it. And the other way around, if they want to improve the Ifc exporter, and it's not the only one outside in the market to export, from the Graphisoft or Nemetschek. I don't even know if it's from Graphisoft or Nemetschek. It's not the only one. There's a lot of exporters outside in the market. So Autodesk, if they want, yes, they can do it. Any plugin.
The question was the score, guys. Was a number, okay? But was quite interesting. This kind of question for the next season, the next debate will be the first, okay? And then we create a debate.
Because, Gustav, it's easy for me to say it's a 9. I can say it's not 10.
But create some discussion that was, I guess, quite interesting.
Yeah, but my number is based on real files that I can exchange between my clients and the Revit file. I've been working with some implementations and everything is there. Okay, it must be prepared perfectly right on the Revit and on ArchiCAD and the translator, and everything just goes smoothly. Everything works fine.
Okay, and then in your opinion, which is the score of Revit in interoperability in OpenBuildings?
My opinion?
No, Decio, not yours. You have yours, but the others is Claudia that where it's.
Oh, I agree with Decio.
It's kind of 6. Relationship with Revit.
I agree with the 6 of Decio.
He doesn't know how to work with Revit, so that's why.
No,
even not your users. They don't know how to work with. I have to learn how to explain them. But, there's a problem. Yes, there's a problem. AFC problem. Yes, on Revit. Yes, it's
okay.
No. Yes.
I'm completely afraid about the result, and our watchers are saying. And then on my side, I tell Decio is telling the truth, but this truth is not really quite important, quite relevant, because are talking about the evolution, the market, how it works, and it's true. It's 6. But the OpenBuildings Revit is great in interoperability in IFC 4 and IFC 2x3, and the others are quite good and amazing and even better. But we are talking about something that I can't and I want to change your score. And then I guess the watchers can see that way that is ready for interoperability, for the supply chains, guys, because we are telling that these are not available. I guess are available. Let's go to the future of BIM. It's the last question of this debate. And I have 13 themes to tell you from my point of view, the themes that we can treat. Only one turn, and then one you can reply to the others. Do you think that only one modeling system is the future? Is one thing. Will be in the cloud. Okay, the other thing. And if this is only one system, is one of the current ones, or will be created other new system? I don't mention the Google, but I don't know. Okay, and then will be a software as a service. This is in the cloud. And let's go down this road now, and let's go about the future of the BIM environments. Will be right now, we are the dinosaurs, and then comes the human being and start to go down the tree, and then, walking with his legs, okay, and create a world as we know right now, we are destroying, okay? But, will be software as a service and a platform, and will be the same that we know today, What do you think about the future of the BIM environments?
Oh,
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay, I can start then. Okay. So regarding if it will be a single modeling system, I'm not sure about it. I would say maybe yes, but I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. What I'm sure is it will be like cloud-based software. We are, we are adding to that option, like having everything online and having everything as a, as a SaaS, that is software as a service. Yes, I'm sure that we are adding towards that, that optioning. Yes.
Claudio?
well, I think no, it just be open BIM rules. I think it should be several softwares. Several softwares, and all in a joint venture as IFC, or call it another name, open BIM, interoperability, whatever. You can't be just one, otherwise it will be like 1984, like George Orwell, Big Brother. No, it must be not only one, okay? It should be several, and all in the same communication, a word outside of the interoperability. That's
You see more a platform for the exchange of information, but you see these environments to be standalone or in the cloud, or?
yes, the standard depends on standalone, depends of the, okay, it can be on the clouds, but for cloud you need certain skills, not some specifications of networks and internet access, and probably you have on the cities, but if you work in the middle of the country, probably you will not have the same speeds. So it probably should be have, as ArchiCAD has this kind of teamwork. Then you grab a file and then work home and then send the file to update. So as we call the travel pack. So something like this, but all in one kind of big clouds.
Okay, seems to be a little dystopic because the package is something from the past. Okay, I guess so. Because
yes, but it was just some kind of information. How it's like a drawing. Okay, I can do your drawing and put outside the ArchiCAD. But
we don't go for the. In my opinion, I guess if we don't go to the cloud to return to the package, I don't see the future is the software as a service or not.
Depends, Gustavo. If you don't have the internet connection, you still don't have the technical for working, and you are in the middle of Sierra Nevada.
Okay.
What?
But maybe
you have to have.
You know that Elon Musk is developing, not a stratospheric, but a network of satellites. I don't know. It's for the control of the whole humanity, I guess. But it's pervasive. Even the flights right now has a network over there that is quite incredible. Yeah. And then internet will be faster and broader and more pervasive. I guess it's impossible to avoid.
On this phase, you are already doing like this, and you are drawing on the computer. Draw me a line. Draw me a wall.
That's the technological question. You guess so or not? You guess, yeah.
Yes, I'm there. I guess that everything will be like that. It's like Tom Cruise,
in several platforms and exchange in the cloud. That was a point.
Yes.
Okay. Sergi?
Well, I don't have the crystal ball. I don't think it will be a unique modeling system.
You are the manager. It's
yes.
a must do.
Yes. And I've seen not a lot of softwares, but
in a risk
some
manager,
softwares that
risk manager, I know. And then this is a risk. Take the risk.
Yes, but I saw some software that disappeared that we thought that they were quite successful and they were not. So I think the perfect tool does not exist, and also I don't think that the brands will merge because the core of the programming of each software is different, completely different, and I don't see it. I don't see it. I see software as a service, of course. Software as a service, of course.
Okay.
And that's actually is working. And many companies, many big companies are hosting software platforms, and this software platform requires a participation of the stronger business partners such as Amazon Web Services or Microsoft. So the future is here, and
it's the cloud. And
yes, sure.
And just one small thing, and 5G, it's just in the corner.
Yes,
5G.
Yes, of course.
And from the 4G, it's a quite huge difference. And we are talking about, mobiles and stuff like that. 5G, it's just right there in the corner.
You need to go to certain parts of Florida where there is no mobile, signal and nothing at all because it's empty.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
I guess
Gustavo, if it's empty, there's no interest in there.
No, there's
what I mean?
likes work there.
There's no interest in there. Otherwise, the guys will go where they have business and things to do. You know what I mean? So I'm not going even today, it's almost impossible going anywhere and not have internet connection. For sure, if I go to the middle of nowhere, I don't have anything.
We'll go with a park. It's in the middle of nowhere, but you have buildings, you have roads, you have maintenance, you have everything. And then construction doesn't work on the cloud, and it must be integrated. And then, well, it's only an issue about how the 4G mobile network was built, and 5G is more intensive and needs more investment,
Sure, that's what I'm saying. We are still starting using 5G. It's a matter of time, 10 or 20 years ago, YouTube was, from 2005, and until there was nothing. You know what I mean? There was nothing. There was no, classes, online classes. There was nothing. Small forums here and there with the very super old school ways of communication. And today we have everything, like with a click of a mouse, or not even a mouse, with your finger, just click there. So yeah, I mean.
Okay, Silvio, sorry for the interruption, but I guess it's okay. I guess it's good. Okay,
yes,
go ahead.
Because we have to think about. I believe in the database-centric model, for example, just as Hexagon has done for their models. They don't have models, they have databases for the project. So you don't have a model file. Everything is stored in a database. If the database has standards for storage, relations, and access, and so on, that everyone uses, let's just think about what the banking system has done. The banks have joined together and they created the standards for changing information, for the money to be changed from one customer to another, in one country to another. They have standards, they developed a standard. The AEC industry did not develop that yet, but we see the infrastructure doing this. Just as I said, companies like Hexagon or the Aveva for PDMS, for example, they're using database-centric. It's a matter of time probably to create everything like this. And taking an example, Sergio said about if there will be one company that will have everything, every software in the world. A few years ago, we had several software for automotive design. We had from the Solid Edge, SolidWorks, and Unigraphics, and so on. Now we have two companies owning all of this high-end software, which is Siemens, and the other hand, Dassault. Dassault and Next from Siemens. We didn't expect that in the market, that both these two companies bought everything from the network of creating a vehicle. Now we have only two players in this market. Probably it can happen in the AEC market, because if you have companies with the open in the market share, with market share open with how do you say that it's in the stock exchange, someone can buy. For example, if Hexagon starts buying Autodesk, Bentley, and everything, what can happen? We will have only one company owning everything, and they can decide that they will use this standard. It can happen, and we don't know if this will happen. It would be good in a point of view if we have a single standard that nobody fights for the right standard or for the correct standard or the better standard. We have only one. But from the point of view of the good market, we will not have competition. And without competition, development is very hard to happen. So I believe in software as a service because of everything that is happening now. We are going to this point, cloud-based software as a service. We will not have to have software installed in our computers. Everything will run in the cloud. I believe in that. But still, we have this point. If someone can buy everything, every company, if one company can buy most of the market and rules this market, or if a government-centered decision, if we in the future have a one centered government, world government that rules everything, it may be possible, but we are talking about possibilities, okay? What I believe, yes, I believe in this database-centric and in the cloud-based and software as a service, yes.
Yeah, probably the use cases, as we are talking about the experience and how we model and the client and everything, the use cases are the key. And then a top-down solution never happens in the construction field, in the AC. And the eco, I guess, is not possible because there is quite simple for everyone. It's quiet, we have the system and there is only one system, it's okay. But you know, one of the largest supply chain in the world is the construction industry, is the IC. And I guess it's not possible. And then, okay, the conclusion is we are going to the software as a service. We don't know the clouds, how this will be built in the future, but we have the digital twin. We are modeling. And there is another process that is the data that we are creating and we are updating, because modeling is a process and managing the data is another process, okay? And the conclusion is probably the same environment with the same features, I guess better than, for example, the Word Online, that is not really the Word, okay, is going to the cloud, and then your environments will be in the future and has the experience, the system, the multi-file or elsewhere, and will be some interesting thing in the future. And there is 3 more BIM environments, I guess, for the watchers that are not here. These are the giants of the BIM environments. Revit from Autodesk, ArchiCAD from Graphisoft, Nemetschek, Allplan from Nemetschek also, okay, different companies, okay, no mixed, and OpenBuildings from Bentley. We are not talking about the multi-sectoral collaboration. That's a great, interesting thing, but not for here because we are talking about buildings. But there is Brixis, there is ACA, there is Cyber Architecture and another solutions by Brixis is using artificial intelligence, but are not well developed like this kind of applications, this kind of environments is well developed. Our giants are the conclusion of the BIM one-on-one in this debate is that you are prepared, guys, to deliver the best training because the system is delivering the best. Okay, can be enhanced, has issues, the cloud, but everything is working for the IPD. That was the conclusion. One each in all the BIM one-on-ones that we have here. I am so grateful for you to be on the BIM 101 series in this debate. This is the final stage of this season in the case of these technical comparatives between one-on-one in this debate. And thank you, Decio. Thank you, Claudio. Thank you, Sergi. And thank you, Silvio, for your effort and for explaining everything, your great points. A lot of information go to the market for elsewhere profiles that needs this information, especially those who are buying the licenses. I encourage the market to buy this software because are great and are well developed, and everyone must work on BIM and not in AutoCAD and no draw layouts, okay? And thank you for this great debate. See you next season, next year, and let's see if the software as a service arise, and we are talking about that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Gustavo, for the invitation. Thank you, guys, for your time, and see you around.
Thank you all. Have a nice
Bye.
evening.
Thank you, and follow us in your YouTube channel, the BIM Freelance YouTube channel. See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.